Hey, everybody, it's Natalie B. McKenzie with The Whole Woman, and welcome to this week's episode of Living Life Authentically with yours truly. I don't know about you, but I'm reclaiming my time. I've had it. This is it. No more stealing my 1 hour in the middle of winter. I can't take it anymore. Today, I'm just struggling. How about you? I hope you are springing excuse me, springing forward with some pep in your step after having 1 hour less sleep because I'm not. And did you see the Oscars last night? I missed it, so I have no comment except that gown that I have seen pictures of Angela Bassett wearing. Okay, it's the whole woman purple. So let's just go for it. It's Lydia's purple. It is all things regal and royal. And so, what if they didn't give her the Oscar? She's our Oscar winner. So, there you have it. Anywho, here at the Whole Woman, we are still celebrating International Women's Day. We're celebrating Women's History Month all month long, but we are especially excited for March 26th when we get to celebrate three amazing women that we have selected for this year's honorees. So if you have not yet heard, we'll be hosting Women Honoring Women on March 26th here in New Jersey at the Capitol Grill in Paramus. So get your tickets. They're live and available. Simply scan the barcode on the screen. And if you're watching from your phone and you can't scan now, post the show, go back, watch the show, scan the barcode, get your tickets. Tickets are going quickly. So if you haven't yet gotten yours, you may be, left behind. Last year, we had a sold out event, and this year, we're looking forward to the same. Our honorees, ladies and gentlemen, are Donna Mendez, and not just any person, Donna Mendez, the Dr. Donna Mendez, who is in the Library of Congress for being the first African American woman to be a vascular surgeon. Hello. And of course, we have Dr. Balpreet Verk. She is trailblazing, making strides, making a difference in the community, the health community space here in the state of New Jersey and beyond. We cannot wait to chat with her. She'll be our guest next week. And of course, we have the indelible and cannot be challenged trifecta. Dr. Glenda Baskin Glover. She's the president of Tennessee State University. So all you TSU Tigers, come on out and support her. And of course, you know, she is our immediate past president over at Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so come on out, AK ladies. We want to have you join us. Welcome to Living Life Authentically. I'm Natalie B. McKenzie, and we are in for a treat today. But before we get there, remember, we are also a nonprofit organization over at Fighting Atrocities Against Women Worldwide. And one of the ways that we're able to continue to support the organizations in the community that we do is because you love and purchase the Lady Mist line. So remember, we're still sanitizing. As a matter of fact, one dear friend is COVID positive as we speak. And as we speak. And so remember to sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. We have the hand sanitizer that was co-created with none other than Shoe Cosmetics. Thank you, Shawanda. We have our Lady Mist body butter that was done by Miracle Buttercream. It is amazing. Cedar Lewis, we continue to thank you for helping us to stay moisturized. And of course, our fragrance, our scented candles that were done by Tiffany Rose. And the Lady Mist scent was created in collaboration with Tiffany Rose over at Home School Sense. And so you've got to check out their candle collection. Absolutely amazing. So thank you for your support. Thank you for continuing to shop with us. And remember, 15% of all proceeds go towards fighting atrocities against women worldwide. We have so much in store for you. Without further ado, today's guest, I am so excited to have her on. She's an award-winning doctoral lecturer, global speaker, and a renowned expert in the field of digital and diversity. Now, if you know anything about me, I've got the diversity down. The digital part, I'm still figuring out. I'm excited when I figure out how to make it real. So I am looking forward, ladies and gentlemen, to chatting with today's guest, none other than Dr. Sabrina Kizzie.
Hello, Natalie. How are you today? Thank
I
you, thank you for having me on your show.
We're so delighted to have you, Dr. Kizzie. You're such a dynamic speaker. Your background is out of this world. And quite frankly, you are the first person I have ever met with a DBA. Wow.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I just completed actually my doctoral studies last year. So I finished writing my dissertation and I graduated last year. So now I get to like breathe and enjoy life and see what's happening in the world right now.
Well, welcome back to real time. You didn't miss much except COVID. So, but Dr. Kizzie, now for you to have the background you have, and I cannot wait for you to talk with us about digital and diversity because I kid you not, I haven't even touched TikTok. And today I tried to write it and had one of my nieces just absolutely laugh at me because I wrote it TICTOC. And she goes, no, it's TOK. It's like, okay, spell check didn't correct it. So leave me alone.
Love it.
But let's learn a little bit about you, Dr. Kizzie. Tell us about what went into the making of that beautiful smile we get to be graced with today. Where did you grow up? Where were you born? And tell us a little bit about your family background.
Sure. So I was born and raised in the Bronx. You have to say it in the Bronx in New York City. And, I just had a wonderful childhood. It was me and my sister, I'm the eldest, and my parents, and we just had it was a great life. I mean, if I had to do it over again, I would, because I have to say I had great parents that just instilled so many just wonderful insights in me. Being able to grow up with parents that had integrity, that worked hard,
Mhm.
and I saw them work hard every day to just really send my sister and I to school. And for them, education was the key. My sister and I were first generation college graduates. And it was just lovely just growing up in the Bronx, having that sense of community where we lived, playing with other students, other kids in the neighborhood, and just everybody in the neighborhood looking out for you, not just your parents, but everybody else's parents as well.
I'm curious, when I write mail and I'm mailing it, do I really put on it the Bronx? Because the way you guys say that, you would think it's the official mailing address. I love it.
No, you don't, but I just say the Bronx 'cause I'm very proud to say that I'm from the Bronx and that I was raised in the Bronx, so I make sure I state it, like, I am proud to be from the Bronx, so yes.
I'm yet to meet someone, Dr. Kizzie, who is not proud to be from the Bronx. Tell me a little bit about your sister. Are you the older of the two? And what was it that you two enjoyed doing so much in the relationship that you shared growing up?
Wow, great question. So I am the eldest. We're 2 years apart. I would say I was the quiet, reserved one, and she was more of the outgoing one. I used to say, even to this day, like she's fearless. Like she was just so fearless. And so I was the quiet, reserved one. And I think it was a little challenging because I was 2 years older than her. So everybody assumed that she would be similar to me because I was the eldest, but she had her own personality. We both did. And we just had a great time just growing up. I just recall, and just since you mentioned that, I remember when we were growing up, and I'm dating myself by saying this. So I remember growing up and I really wanted the what you call the easy bake oven.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes, because I was really into cooking. I enjoy cooking with my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, I really want the easy bake oven. Can I have that for Christmas?" And she said, "Okay." And then my sister wanted what's called the Baby Alive. I don't know if you remember that doll.
Remember
And
that.
so I remember one time I was making my cake with my easy bake oven and I fed it to her Baby Alive. And the next thing, everything exploded. All the cake, everything was all over the table. And I have to tell you, my mother was not happy at all. Not happy. Baby
That's
Alive
not
just all our cake was all over the living room. And my sister were in trouble. So I just recalled that memory when you were asking me about her.
That's funny. So tell me about your interests growing up because to get a doctorate in business administration, most people get a PhD in economics or something. But so clearly, I wonder, were you always deliberate and driven? What were you like, say, at about 8 years old? And what were you interested in?
That's a great question. So I was very shy growing up, very shy. And people would laugh now if they knew that I was a professor, because I was just really shy and talking with people, even so much on the phone. But I did enjoy reading. My hobbies were reading, cooking, and just learning as much as I can. And getting the DBA was, I couldn't tell you that when I was 8 years old I was going to get a doctoral degree, because I was really just focused on going to high school. And as I mentioned before, education was key in our family. My mother instilled that us into us that we have to go to college. She didn't have the opportunity to go to college, and she wanted to make sure that my sister and I did. So I went to college. I went to get my master's degree. And then I would say that I am a lifelong learner. I always enjoyed learning, and I knew at some point that I wanted to get a doctoral degree. But sometimes in life, opportunities don't present themselves, or life just happens, and you put certain things on hold until it's the right time.
When you during your time in high school, and I know you mentioned you were shy, but did you engage in any extracurricular activities? Did you get into the arts at all, or were you involved in any sports, or were you the bookworm?
Well, in high school, I was involved in like the student union, student council, but what really helped me in terms of my shyness and wanting to pursue my education was this program called the Upward Bound program. And it was this program to prepare you for college. And so I would go to high school, and then after high school, I would go and take courses at Bronx Community College through the Upward Bound program. And all the
Mhm.
courses were to help you prepare for college, to take your SATs, and all of the courses that you might take in college. In addition to that, what they did is during the summer, we actually stayed on a college campus. So we got to stay in the dorm. And once I got to see what it was like to be on a campus and stay in a dorm, I'm like, I could do this college thing now. This is fun. And so just having that experience of being around other students, all of us focused on getting ready to go to college, just really kind of opened me up in terms of not being as shy and having different experiences with other students.
Awesome. So, where did you go off to college for undergrad studies? Oh, and did you go directly from high school?
Yes, I went directly from high school. What I did was I went to a 2-year school at the time. It's not a 2-year school now, but I went to a 2-year school. Um, SUNY Farmingdale, and I got my associate's degree. And I said, okay, I'm going to go there. I'm going to get my associate's degree. And I got it in business administration. And then from there, I went to Long Island University, CW Post, and I got a scholarship actually to go there and finish up the remaining 2 years of my college experience. So I got my bachelor's degree in marketing from LIU CW Post.
Now, post undergrad, what was your next step? Now, what was your interest? Because clearly you've had a marketing business interest early, but what is it you hope to do when you got out of college?
That's great. I mean, question. I was always interested in business. And as a child, I always said to my mom, I want to own a piece of the Big Apple. And she would say, okay, honey, whatever you want to do. But what does that mean exactly? And I didn't even know really what it meant. But I just know that I said I wanted to own a piece of the Big Apple. So for me, I know I was interested in business and marketing, and I decided once I finished my degree, I would get a job. And I got a job at a big corporation right after I finished college. And I was so excited. I was at this big firm and was going to go get my master's degree. And maybe 9 months into the job, I got laid off. And
Oh,
I was devastated. And I remember being on the train coming home crying. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I was, still living at home. And I was like, Mom, I got laid off. And she's like, honey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Things like this happen. Things like this happen. My whole entire unit, they laid off and they relocated everyone to Arizona. And if I wanted
mm,
to keep the job, I would have to go to Arizona. So
Wow.
at that time, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back to school full time. I went back, I got my master's degree in public administration, healthcare from LIU CW Post. And then I thought at that time I wanted to be in healthcare. I'm going to be a healthcare administrator. That's what I want to do. And I work for various healthcare companies, very large companies. And I tell people all the time, it's okay if you change direction in your field. I have pivoted several times in my career. Initially, I wanted to be a healthcare administrator. Then I fell in love with real estate and I wanted to be a real estate investor, wrote a book on it and everything.
I've been waiting for that real estate piece because you want to own a piece of the Big Apple.
And I think that's what I meant, but I didn't know what I was talking about. What I was saying is when I was 8 years old. But for me, later on, it meant home ownership. I
Mhm.
wanted to own something, a property or real estate. And so I had my full-time job. I had my side hustle. I was learning about real estate. Then real estate started doing really well, explosive, that I was making more money doing real estate than my job. But I
Wow.
didn't leave my job until the real estate was all set up. I had my company name and everything together. Quit my job, went into real estate, did really well. Then the market went down. And then I said, you know what? It's time for me to pivot again. And then found out the whole theme of everything that I was interested in is really was marketing and social media. And I was doing marketing all throughout the different fields that I was in, and then decided to go to school to get my doctoral degree.
So you went to school, you got a doctorate in business administration. Why not a PhD in something else related, which is quote unquote what most people do? Tell me the difference with a DBA, please.
Excellent question. And to be completely transparent with you, initially I was on track for a PhD.
Ah.
And then I decided, and a PhD and a DBA are both what you call terminal degrees. They're both the highest level of education that one can achieve.
Mhm.
But the PhD might be more in terms of theory, and the
Certainly.
DBA is more practical application. So I wanted to go for the DBA because I wanted to be able to go into corporations, speak to C-suite executives, and give them practical application on how they can utilize technology for their companies. So that's why I made the switch to the DBA, and I'm glad I did.
Let's talk a little bit about that technology, use of technology, and the whole space of digital and diversity. Am I saying that right? Digital and diversity?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So I get the diversity piece, and I conceptually understand the digital. Don't ask me to apply it. So but help me get a look into your world when you go in to speak on digital and diversity.
Great question. So I would say that gender equality is not a reality in 2023. We still need to see more women in the tech industry. And I've seen that in different places in terms of corporations that I have the opportunity to visit with or give presentations to. So right now, what I see is that there's so many women. We are well educated now. Black women are the most well educated women out there right now. We have the education, we have the experience, but sometimes it's just really difficult getting your foot in the door in terms of these tech jobs. And so I feel like I have the responsibility to really explain what it means in terms of diversity and digital. And that's what brought about my whole study in terms of looking at that space. So I did a whole research study on Black millennials and mobile advertising and that impact on their products and services. And it really just boils down to women having more of a place in the tech industry, advertising companies viewing the importance of women and people of color in their advertising and their ads. And you mentioned something really important. You mentioned TikTok. So one of the things that I'm seeing too is that job recruiters are looking for people who have skills in social media. You
Mm.
can utilize those skills in social media to get your next job. Perfect example. You mentioned TikTok. So TikTok, as we know, is the platform that most people are using. No matter what the controversy over it, people are using it anyway. So
Mhm.
I tell my students, if you're going to utilize a platform, I want you to be the subject matter expert in that platform. And so with that being said, in my research, I found that there's a 17% increase in job responsibilities where companies are looking for people who have experience in TikTok. Since 2019, there's been a 17% increase in jobs responsibilities that say we want someone to have TikTok experience. And when I say TikTok experience, that's more like looking at the skill sets that come with
Yes,
producing a TikTok.
yes,
So, for example, if you create TikTok, you have to know about content creation. You have to know about video production. You have to be creative. All of those skill sets go into putting together a TikTok video. So it's not actually maybe the TikTok skill, it's those skill sets to make the video.
absolutely.
And I tell people, any one of us can become TikTok certified. They have a course that is free that
What?
you can take. Yes, it takes anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, and TikTok offers this certification. So I tell my students, as extra credit, please go get TikTok certified, because let me tell you something. If you're looking for a job and you have one person over here that says, "Oh, I know how to do TikTok. I do TikTok videos all the time." And you have someone over here who says that they're TikTok certified, the employer is going to pick the person who's TikTok certified.
Wow. And so how does and okay, so the diversity comes in, and I heard you mention that women are still underrepresented in technology, in the space of technology. And then you have the digital platform. And if I'm looking at it correctly, maybe I'm just looking at, my interest. Thank you, Deidre, for that spelling of TikTok. um, but how are you seeing where the okay, those who came before the millennials, they'll remain nameless. They kind of look like me.
I'm right there with you.
How do we get past the phobia of, you know, Instagram reeling and TikToking and all of that? I mean, I'm comfortable with Facebook, but I still am of the generation where I really can't handle a camera in my face all the time.
That's an excellent question. And I always say, if there's one platform that everybody should be on, it should be LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is a professional network where you can go on there, and it's, oh, we talk about, old school. Back in the day, we would have our phone book and we'd have all our, names in the telephone. Well, to me, LinkedIn is the new phone book. You have all your professional contacts there. You have their, information, their email address, and you utilize LinkedIn as a way to really just showcasing your skill sets, your achievements, your accomplishments. That's what the platform is for. And so I highly recommend that everyone be on LinkedIn. And you can do videos on LinkedIn as well. So it's a great place where people can look for their connections, their professional connections, highlight their strengths, give kudos to their friends and what they're doing, and just utilize that to connect with other people. You don't have to be on all of the social media platforms to be successful and to really use it for job opportunities and job advancement.
Dr. Kizzie, I see from your resume that your speaking engagements have taken you all over, and you've even addressed the Google New York City office. Talk with me about what is it that you bring to a Google platform? What is Google looking to you for? Because clearly you have gone and studied and researched this at great lengths.
Great question. So when I did that presentation a couple of years ago, I was really kind of introducing my research. And so I was letting them know about my subject matter in terms of Black millennials and the acceptance of mobile advertising. And we know that Google does a lot of mobile advertising. So I was just giving them like an idea of what was to come in terms of looking at this segment of people. And in my research, I found that there's tons of studies done on all different demographics, but there were no studies done on millennials. And we know that millennials are, they influence culture, they're, digital savvy. And, I'm like, why not focus on them? And they're, huge consumers of retail and other services. So I just gave a highlight about, my study and the impact, because my study really is geared towards marketers, advertisers, different companies, so that they can kind of take a look at what do we need to get this particular um, consumer segment interested in our products and services. Just like you mentioned, the Grammys were on last night. I didn't get an opportunity to see them, but there were different TV ads on during that time. And
Yes.
so, don't we love to see TV ads that represent us, that look like us? You like to see women in them, people of color. So, when these companies have these huge marketing budgets, we need to see that they allocate that money towards all the different consumer segments, not just one.
Now, excuse me, how much do you think, pardon me, the pandemic affected how we interact, rely on, and use the digital space?
That is an excellent question. I mean, in so many different ways. So, in terms of, we all had to learn, if we were all in a business setting, how to use these digital platforms. So, for example, Zoom, Slack, all the different ways, video conferencing that you might not have had to use before, you had to learn how to use it quickly. I remember, when Zoom came out, we were giving tutorials on how to do Zoom, how to put somebody in a chat room, and all of that. So that was a large piece of it, using the video conferencing, these different platforms to have meetings, because we could no longer meet in person. So that was one area. And then the other area is, we were home during the pandemic. Some people weren't going out. So, shopping went up. Mobile shopping, shopping online just went up. So now the retailers had to figure out, okay, we need to not focus so much on the in-person shopping, and now we need to focus on how to make everything digital and how they can have a great seamless experience online and getting their products. Because some people might have never used some of these platforms before. Maybe they never purchased food like, on Amazon or Whole Foods or anything, or didn't buy things online before, but now was an increase because of the pandemic. So the pandemic really increased our level and reliance on technology. Definitely.
And what do you think we have to look forward to, let's say, in the next 5 to 10 years? How do you see this shifting? I can tell you, I have a loving relationship with Instacart. I never go into Costco ever anymore. Costco brings everything to me. And, you know, Amazon was my boyfriend all through. If I didn't get a package, it was like, oh, he didn't call today.
Love it.
It's like, oh,
I love it. I love it. I love it. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, we can't go backwards now. We have this technology, so we're only going to move forward with it, and it's going to get even more advanced. I mean, we've learned, if nothing else, we all love convenience. We want everything right away as soon as possible. So, whatever these various companies can do to make life easier for you, whether it's your package showing up through a drone, or you get it in 2 hours, this is all going to continue on. So I do see an increase in mobile advertising, mobile technology, companies just making it ever more so convenient and easy for you to shop. We were on a segment, and there was a millennial talking, and they were saying that millennials only give you 8.6 seconds for your ad to show up. And if they want something, they will buy it immediately. So they want to see the product. They want you to have an easy checkout, seamless Apple Pay, all of that. And they want to be done in seconds. So
wow.
that is the trend now, is that these companies need to have the product available, make the journey for the consumer easy, so they can have their information in, check out, and be done, and get back to the Zoom call they were just on while they were shopping.
Wow. So, well, we want to have you back, Dr. Kizzie, because there's so many things here. I'm curious about AI and how that's going to intersect with the whole, digital experience. And I see the use of barcode becoming so commonplace. It's almost going to be the next way to brush your teeth. I feel it's like, okay, what else is there left to put barcode on? But I'd love to meet with you in person. If you're available, please join us on the 26th here in New Jersey for Women Honoring Women, some amazing women for you to meet. And I'd love to meet you in person. And so please stay tuned and good luck with everything. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with Dr. Sabrina Izzi, and she is the mistress of digital and diversity. Thank you so much for sitting with us. We look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you so much. This has been a great honor. I've truly enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kizzie. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
Be well. I'm Natalie B. McKenzie, and you have been watching Living Life Authentically. Now, remember, on March 26th here in New Jersey, if you're watching us on New Jersey, as in ONNJ.com or on Roku, we want to invite you to join us if you're local at the Capitol Grill in Paramus on March 26th as we honor a trifecta of terrific women. Barcode on screen. Feel free to purchase your tickets then. And our honorees, as mentioned, are Dr. Donna Mendez, Dr. Balpreet Grillverk, and Dr. Glenda Baskin Glover. We look forward to seeing you next Monday at Living Life Authentically as we chat with Dr. Balpreet. So have a great one. And I wish you enough life to live, enough joy to give, enough love to share. I wish you enough. Good night.